Hey everybody, welcome to another Plum Crazy adventure today. Today I am solo. I am not going to be doing a very long live with all of you this evening. I am hiding away in our bedroom, so please do not judge everything in here as I move things around a little bit so that I can see, because my setup is completely different from how it normally is. And so we're just going to see how things go. But like I said, not going to be on here very long. I just wanted to pop in for about 15-20 minutes and talk about theme park essentials. I've had two people that have booked Disney just in the past couple of days, which is crazy to me. I am so excited. I've got people going to Disney again, and some of them are soon. So this kind of was why I wanted to go ahead and kind of talk about theme park essentials. But before I get into that, I did want to give everybody a couple of updates. So part of the reason why I'm by myself is Scott has no voice. He's actually been working north of Pittsburgh, and there's been a lot of smoke in our area recently. Like, I've been fortunate to be able to be indoors with Nick for the most part, so we haven't been having too much difficulty. Christopher, that's really funny. He just said hello from the other side of the house. That was the other update. The boys are officially back in town, so another reason why we are going to be doing things kind of quickly, because we haven't had dinner yet. They texted and said, "Hey, we're coming home tonight." And I was like, oh gosh. So stuck some pork chops in the oven, and we'll be eating after I'm done with the live. So forgive me for it not being very long. But I do just want to say heartfelt prayers. Oh, there he is. He's my mime.
Yeah, pretty much. Guys, I just wanted to step in real quick and I wanted to say happy belated birthday to my dad.
Yes.
So, happy belated birthday, Dad. Sorry.
That was next on my list. I was going to wish him, Mike, a very happy and belated birthday. Sorry that we couldn't be with you, but obviously work and everything else going on, and the boys in and out. It's been a bit of a crazy thing here in the Snyder household. So we like our plum crazy adventures. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get into some things. I do want to apologize. I know my eyeballs are kind of going back and forth because I don't have my two screens set up quite the way I normally do. So it's a little bit harder for me to keep track of what's going on. So the very first thing that I always make sure that I have whenever I am going to a theme park, I really, really like to have a simple drawstring bag. Okay. And I know that there's plenty of other bags that are out there. I do have a Loungefly that I use every day, but the leather gets really hot, and so I always end up being really sweaty and sticky on my back. And I find that these breathe a little bit easier. Um, and if I need to have, for instance, Scott or one of the boys carry it for me for a while, they're generally not too upset about carrying around a hard rock drawstring bag. And for instance, this one has really thick strings on it and stuff, so it doesn't really hurt that much when I'm carrying it around. So I really like using these, but I could be in the minority on here. So let me know in the comments what bags you like to use when you go to the theme park. I might change it up a little bit on our next theme park trip. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, the other thing, because it's summertime and we've been having issues here in Pittsburgh too, you got to have yourself a nice umbrella. I really like this one. I actually use this one to shade from the sun as well, but it has, like you can see, has the nice little cover over top of it. It folds down really small, which is really great. The only thing I would recommend is whenever you are going into a theme park, make sure that you take it out of your bag before you go through security, and you hold it out in front of you, kind of like this. That way they can see it when they're scanning, and that'll shorten your time going through the security line. So definitely recommending having one of those. Something else I recommend, because it seems to be going around, everybody's got some kind of a bug lately, is I always bring some hand sanitizer with me. Not to say that we don't wash our hands when we go to the bathroom, things like that. But sometimes, like, you touch something and like, ooh, that was kind of sticky, or I don't know what that was. So I always end up bringing some hand sanitizer with us so that we can sanitize our hands whenever we come into those situations, or when you're in a line or something and you're just thinking about it, we like to go ahead and use hand sanitizers. The other thing that I really like to bring, these are wet ones. There's several different brands, but they're just antibacterial hand wipes. I've actually got these, and then in my other bag, which I forgot to grab out, are some Lysol wipes. So if you're going to be going for a food festival, like for instance, the Flower and Garden, which is going to be ending next week, and you want to wipe down your table real quick that you grab, or the top of the trash can, because let's face it, anytime you do an Epcot festival, you've eaten on the top of a trash can. So having the wet ones in order to wipe your fingers, because maybe you had some saucy wings somewhere, or having the Lysol wipe so that you can wipe down whatever surface it is that you're going to be using. It's just good hygiene. Really like being able to do that. I like my insulated Castle bag and my huge Mickey bag. Yes. Now, Deb actually, those are very, very good bags, but she tends to use a scooter when she goes. So it's a little bit easier to carry those around versus actually like having them on your shoulder. So just as a heads up, the big bags, yes, they're very, very nice, but got to think about the mileage that you're going to be doing. Some people will do 30,000 steps in a day, which is absolutely insane. Carrying around a big tote bag sometimes isn't always feasible, but if you got a scooter, bring it. I think that that's great. Another thing I like to bring is I really like having a couple of these Ziploc bags. Generally, I like the ones that have the actual the little slider, so you can slide it open and close, just because I like that visual. But I like bringing these for a couple of reasons. First one might be, excuse me. Maybe you get totally and completely soaked and you need to take your socks off, and you want to put them into something, or you have a change of clothes for the little one because you knew they were going to get wet. Have a gallon size baggie in that case, and then you put their wet clothes in here so that it doesn't get everything else in your bag soaking wet. Another reason I like these is because you can put your electronics in them. So if you know that there's a storm coming and you're worried about getting stuck in the downpour, or you know you're going to be riding a wet ride, this is always a really great thing. Like for instance, if you decide to go on Bill Drat barges in Islands of Adventure at Universal Orlando, you're going to get drenching wet. You're going to be soaked from head to toe. Making sure that you have your phone, chargers, things like that protected by having them in a Ziploc baggie. Very, very good idea. And speaking of Universal, I kind of wish Disney did something like this too. But I really like having a lanyard when I am going to Universal. And of course, this particular one, I'm going to like, it's from Fast and the Furious. Don't come at me. The reason why I got it is because it actually has my charger on there. See, or my Challenger. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I called her a charger. She's a Challenger. And it has the shaker, and she's purple. And so when I saw this one, I had to get it. So yes, the Fast and Furious ride is absolutely ridiculous. I will agree with everybody on that. But I had to get this one because it represents my baby. But I like having a lanyard, being able to put this on, not having to worry about pockets, being able to, especially like for instance, park tickets. I have my expired park ticket in there. I have our room key on the other side. So being able to get into the room, no problem whatsoever using this. Being able to, for instance, if you are in a Premier Hotel, Royal Pacific, Portofino, or Hard Rock Hotel while you're staying at Universal, and being able to use your room key as your express pass by literally just picking it up and going right there, not having to dig into pockets or wallets or anything like that. Really like having this ability. Also, when you are shopping and being able to go, oh, I'm an annual pass holder. Here you go. That I like the lanyards. I know that Disney has some. It's not nearly as popular or as common. You'll probably walk around and you'll see like 70% of the people having some kind of a lanyard on when you're at Universal. Might be 5% when you're at Disney. So I like them. I like them a lot. You tuck them down into your shirt for certain rides, just so that you don't lose them. But I really like this. So what does everybody else think? I know I make all of my boys have them. Going back to water and things like that, something else that I always bring for all of our theme park trips. So this is a cell phone case holder so that I can actually still use my cell phone while it is in a holder. So if I know I'm going to be on a water ride, or maybe we're doing a day at Volcano Bay, or we're spending time at the pool for the day and I want to be able to capture some moments, I like having these. Generally, I've got a lanyard, separate lanyard on this one. I don't know what happened to this one. I probably stole it for something else at some point and just never put it back on. But I would make sure that was on there too, or have it clipped to my lanyard, my main lanyard, so that it was for easy access. But I really, really like having these. They're really cheap on Amazon. I think I got like a 4-pack the last time for like 18 bucks, so that each of us could have one. And really, really like having those too. Something else that I just started carrying and I really like them. So these are collapsible cups, and they don't get very big, but I like that they're so thin and compact. Let me put that back on there a little bit better. But you can literally put them in your pocket if you wanted to. They take up next to zero room in your bag. And what you can do is you literally just pop them open and they become a nice little cup. And pretty much everywhere you go, quick services, you're going to be able to get free cups of ice water. So you can actually go ahead and use this if you would like to. It's better for the environment. You don't have to worry about throwing away paper cups. And then when you're at Universal, there's Coke Freestyle machines everywhere. So you can definitely get your cup of water using this. When you're done drinking it, you just collapse it up, put your lid back on, and you go and you do your next ride. I really, really like these because they don't take up a whole lot of room. You don't always want to have like one of the big cups when you're walking around. And so being able to stop, grab something, drink it on your way to your next ride, and then just collapse this and go, I think it's absolutely brilliant. Really, really liking these a lot. Something else, because I am the video taker for our YouTube channel, generally speaking, Scott helps me out too. And then also photos. I really recommend getting some kind of a brick or an external battery pack that you can use. I really like this one. This was a 2-pack that I got on Amazon forever ago, so I have no idea what the current pricing would be. But I like it because I can plug in here, use my regular charging cables, and charge up my phone, and then plug in so that this will actually charge in the evening when I am at home. And I get a lot of use out of these, actually. I know I have used this and recharged my phone like 3 different times and still have like 2 bars on this. So I've never depleted this out completely for the amount of use that I have done on my cell phone. So I really, really like using these. And you can use it for other things too. I could plug in my GoPro if I wanted to, because it has a USB. So I could charge up my batteries for the GoPro. I'm sure there's other things that I could do too. Our microphones, we've used microphones before. I can charge those with this too. So really, really like this. This is another thing though. It's going to set off the alarms when you go through security. So especially at Disney, make sure that you have this out and in front of you like this with your umbrella. That way they know, oh, I see what they have. So just another tip on that one. Something else, and this might be a little bit controversial, but you'll just have to tell me in the comments. I like to bring some flip-flops with me. And part of the reason is I absolutely hate having soggy feet. I don't wear these very often, but I like, because they're so small and compact and everything, I like sticking them in my bag, and I like having a pair of some kind of slide or something for Nick, because he doesn't like the things in between his toes. And I wish I could get Scott to like slides, because I would keep those for him too. That way, if it starts to rain, which if you're going to Central Florida, you know it rains every afternoon in the summertime. But if it starts to rain, you can take off your tennis shoes and you can put these on. You can always get bags at any of the merchandise shops to put your tennis shoes in until the rain subsides. That way they're protected, your socks are protected, and you can just wear these instead. So then when it stops, you can put your regular shoes back on. You don't have soggy feet. You're not walking around going squish, squish, squish all day. So I really like these. Also, if you're planning on doing water rides, I distinctly remember, obviously, Splash Mountains are no more. They're currently being renovated to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But I remember riding the Disneyland version a few years ago and getting absolutely drenched and literally having standing water in my shoes. I had to take my shoe off and pour water out. That is how drenched I got on that particular run when we went on Splash Mountain. So having a pair of flip-flops or some kind of slide that you can stick in your bag that doesn't take up a whole lot of room, but can really save you a lot in the long run, highly, highly recommend that. Now, if you don't have that, or maybe you're like my husband and you're very, very prone to blisters, this is something that I insist on bringing into the parks every time I go. Also, if you have kids, so this is my homemade little first aid kit. So basically what I have in here is I've got some different types of Band-Aids. It really doesn't matter what kind of Band-Aids, whatever works best for your family. I also have, I get these for free randomly, but I have some towelettes right here that I use. I put them in here. Like whenever I go to a restaurant, see a lot of people wear them at the parks. Yeah. I see a lot of people. I get these like when I go to restaurants like Red Lobster, they'll give you a bunch of these, like if you order something, and a lot, if I can save a couple, I do. That way I can use them for my little park kit. I also have a couple of little ointment packets in here so that in the event of Nick falling and scraping up his knees, which he's done to me 3 different times while we have been in theme parks. I have some ointment right there. I have some Band-Aids. I have a couple of wipes. I can wipe it clean and we're good to go. We move on. The only other thing I have in here is a pair of fingernail clippers, which you don't necessarily have to have, but I am one of those people that if I end up getting a small hangnail, I will literally be driven insane by that thing until I can either chew it off or cut it off. And so obviously cutting it off is a much better option. So I just keep them in here because it's nice and tiny and works. So I really, really like doing this as well. Now, continuing with the first aid, something else. Let's face it, we're not getting any younger, Scott and me at the very least. So we always make sure that we have a travel size bottle of ibuprofen with us because at some point during the day, we're going to have sore backs. We're going to have sore feet. We're going to have headaches because of the heat and dealing with the kids and everything else. So definitely recommend having some ibuprofen with you. Also, we always use Burt's Bees chapstick. You can use whatever chapstick you want, but you're going to be out in the sun. You're going to want to have some kind of a sunscreen, which I just realized I forgot to grab that, and also some chapstick because you are going to have chapped lips at some point during that trip. So having something that you can use so that you're not having to pay theme park pricing for something like that, if you can even find it. Something else. Now, I just bought this very recently. So this is a little pill caddy. And I liked it, but I'm not sure how often I will use it. And part of it is because they're very, very small. I have some ibuprofen in here actually from our last trip, but I like to put Tums in here. I just wish it didn't have the divider because I would use this whole side for Tums, and then I would use this side for ibuprofen and things like that. So I haven't found one of these that I really, really like yet, but I'm on the search, and once I do find one, I will definitely be sharing that with everybody. Let me see here. Something else, and maybe I'm just weird, but when we go to theme parks, especially in Central Florida, Disney or Universal, we go to eat. We really like being able to go to the restaurants, checking out different foods. There's a lot of things that we try that we would never try while we're at home. And so one of the things that I always like to bring is a travel toothbrush. And I just keep this in my bag. And then anybody that goes to the dentist, a lot of times they give you, they'll give you a regular size toothbrush, and then they give you a travel size teeny tiny little toothpaste. And I like putting these teeny tiny toothpaste into my theme park bag so that I can brush my teeth if I need to. If it's something that I really didn't like, or if it's something that I feel like it's stuck in my teeth, things like that. Maybe this is just because of when I used to wear braces. And of course, I wore braces as an adult, so I took care of them a little bit better than maybe the teenagers. But always brushing my teeth after meals. And don't be ashamed. Go ahead and bring these and go into that bathroom and brush your teeth if you feel like you need to, okay? Because I have done that many, many, many times. Let me see here. One other thing. I always highly recommend that you bring some kind of a lotion with you. I cannot tell you, especially using hand sanitizer a lot, how dry your hands are going to get. You're going to want to have something so that you can put some kind of lotion or something on your hands, just so that you can kind of keep yourself from getting too chapped, things like that. So I always bring something. This is actually the very last little bit of a sample tube that my mother-in-law, Debbie, got me. It's a vanilla guava. I also really like the CeraVe brand, and they have those in travel sizes too. So just a couple of tidbits. And then the last thing that I'm going to show you, because I realize I'm already at 25 minutes in, I like bringing a couple of small toys like Lightning McQueen and Mr. Mater here. Something that I can pull out of my bag when Nick gets antsy and he's like, I don't want to be standing in line anymore, or he's crowding up on the people in front of us. He likes to do that a lot. Kind of like try to push them forward a little bit. And I'm like, buddy, like they're not going anywhere either. Just stay there, you know? But having some toys that you can pull out, and having a couple different varieties. They don't have to be very big. I mean, these are just little Matchbox cars. Poor Mater is very well loved, in case you couldn't tell. I think this is a newer Lightning McQueen. He's got several of these, and he's got one that looks about like Mater. Spent too much time in the tub, haven't you, buddy? So I like having things like this for Nick so that he has something to do while we are in queues, in line, or waiting for fireworks, whatever it might be, so that he's like, oh, and then I'm not pulling out my phone so that he's watching stuff on there instead of engaging with us. I really think that this is a really great option. So like I said before, it doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be big. The other great thing is if you get a couple of things before you go, maybe it'll save on your souvenir pricing a little bit. You won't be going into shops to find something to keep them occupied, you know? So that's definitely one of my mom tips that I like to share with everybody. So like I said, didn't want to be on here very long. I know I've had some fluctuating on Facebook of just a few people, which I appreciate. I didn't post anything about today because I wasn't sure if I was even going to do anything with Scott going in and out of having no voice. If you happen to be here at the beginning, you heard him talking a little bit. So definitely. It's been a bit of a trying couple of weeks as far as respiratory and stuff goes, just because of all the smokes coming down from Canada. I don't know why I call it smokes. It's just smoke. There's no S at the end. But yeah, so basically those are some of my theme park essentials that I think that everybody needs to carry with them, especially if you have some kids that you're going to need to keep occupied. Also, not pictured here, but make sure you got some kind of a sunscreen that you can put in there. The sunscreen that I like to use, I actually have in what I call my beach bag, which is basically sunscreen and bug spray and beach towels that I can take with me to any park, so that if Nick decides to jump in a stream or there's a splash park over at Deer Lakes, things like that, I have something that's already in the car that I can use. So, but yeah, so that is basically it for this evening. Very quickly, I do want to give a shout out to Mikey. I don't remember what the numbers are, and I didn't write it down. I apologize, Mikey. He is actually somebody that has been commenting on our Wonder of the Seas video. If you guys have seen that, that came out yesterday morning. If you haven't, hop on over there and check out that video. A very cool video that we did. A lot of unique things, different things that we did with that video that we've never done before. So definitely curious to see how everybody likes it. If you guys do enjoy that form, maybe we'll be doing some more like that. So definitely check that video out, and a huge shout out and thank you to Mikey for commenting for us. I have somebody coming in. Oh gosh.
Okay. Happy belated birthday, Grandpa. Happy belated birthday.
Oh, I have the Three Stooges at home and then the little monkey guys. So be glad that I'm on here at all, because it has been one of those days.
Here's
So-
Noah, by the way.
Yeah.
Back
So
off.
Mr. Person that does not like to be on camera at all, we have found. So, but with all that being said, I'm getting off of here because I am starving, and I think that was my gentle cue to get off of here, Mom. We're hungry. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, the like button, and follow us on Facebook. You all stay well. Smoke is not supposed to leave here until maybe Friday. Ugh, that is not fun. So everybody stay safe, stay healthy, do your best as far as, especially if you have asthma and other respiratory problems, try to stay out of the smoke and stuff around here as much as possible if you're in the Southwest PA, Ohio region. Those are the ones I know specifically that are having issues just because of family. So, with that being said, are you guys ready for your next Plum Crazy adventure? Because we're ready to get you there and get you out of the smoky haze of Western PA. Bear with me.